Hey everybody, Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. Well, happy Wednesday to everybody. It is the first day of a new month, September. Now, I have something to say about September. Well, actually, the market has something to say about September. September typically is one of the worst months for the stock market. The question is, well, how do we deal with that? Well, that's a very good question. I have a list of stocks that typically do most stocks don't do as well typically in September as in other months. It just for some reason September, everybody's getting back to school. October typically is one of the best months in the stock market, but September can be very treacherous. So, um, we put together a list of stocks that have in the last few times done very, very well in this period of time. So just kind of want to, you know, get into it here. Um, Basically, the market is still in a confirmed uptrend, which is a great thing. The Nasdaq and the S&P 500 are holding above that very critical 50-day line, so that's a good thing. And the market is in a confirmed uptrend. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, the stock is moving higher, the indexes are moving higher, S&P is moving higher, so is the Nasdaq. So that's a good sign. But as we said, September is this curious month where sometimes it's good, sometimes not so much. So what I've done is put together a list of top stocks. These are in the S&P 500 that tend to do very, very well in the month of September. It's really odd because most of the stocks not so much, but these stocks over the years have done very well, and just kind of want to go through them. One of them is Albermar. You probably never heard of this one. Basically, it's it's moved up very nicely, about 60%. It's sort of an industrial stock in the materials sector. It's sort of a specialty chemicals company. That typically goes up 7.9% on the last 5 years. If you look back 5 years, it's gone up about 7.9% in the month of September. So that's kind of an interesting one. Kind of want to put that on your list. Interestingly enough, Caesars, CZR, that's a symbol. It also does well. It's in the consumer discretionary area. Now, not all of these stocks are going to be exactly at the right buy points. So I want to be very clear about that. Not all of these are going to be exactly at the right buy points, but there's going to be some good ones in here. Caterpillar is traditionally very good, but interestingly enough, one of the best stocks this year, and it does extremely well typically in the month of September, is John Deere. And for everybody out there that is listening to this, you can get a great bull put spread that I've just done on to take advantage of this expected move. Now we had this expected move on John Deere. It's very easy to get it. If you're looking on TikTok, just go to my profile, click the link, and you can move down there and you can find it. Um, and it's a very nice spread. It's called a bull put spread. It puts money into your pocket right away. And it's a very nice thing about the bull put spreads. Also, if you're looking on if you're looking on YouTube, all the other platforms, just go to www Dallas Trading Floor, and you will be able to find this as well. So I just kind of want to put it out there, kind of put it out there for everyone. And it's a nice little trade. This is the exact trade that I did today, so it's something that you might want to look at. Going further down here on this list that does well in September, this is a very interesting company. It's called International Flavors and Fragrances. As a matter of fact, I have heard about this company forever and ever and a day. So, like, this is the company that, have you ever wondered, you open up Downy softener and you have the smell. Well, guess what? There's actually a company that does this. It's International Flavors and Fragrances. They make the flavors and the fragrances for just about everything. So, when you smell it's all kinds of things. So very interesting company, extremely profitable. Typically is up about 5%. This is on the last 5 years in the month of September. I mean, who know? Who would have known? Etsy is also in that group. That's another one you want to look at. Ross Stores, and I think one of the reason Ross Stores does so well is because, of course, it's back to school, and Ross Stores are a good way to go. Very inexpensive, nice stuff. There's actually one in my shopping center right that I live right next to, so I really like Ross Stores. Also, there is a stock that I own currently, Elmer, very interesting stock. It's in the healthcare field, but really it's in the gene sequencing field. They make about 85% of the world's gene sequencing equipments, and of course, all of the companies are looking to be in this space. So this is a good one too. Parker Hannifin, this is another industrial. PH. Cummins, of course, they make diesel engines, and they seem to do very well in September. I don't know why this is the case. Norfolk Southern, of course, the transportation sector has been doing very, very well. I have another stock, which is Matson Lines. It is one of the last of the Mohicans. It's a U.S. based container line based in Honolulu, Hawaii, doing very, very well as well. That's not on this list, but that's one you might want to take a look at. CDW, this is Computer Discount Warehouse. And this is, I think it's because, people are getting their computers. This is a major distributor for, all kinds of things from, all kinds of computers. I think that, HP distributes to them. A lot of companies distribute them, printers and all kinds of stuff. CDW, that also does well. So just kind of wanted to put it out there. Now, just to take a look at the chart for John Deere, and of course, I have the spread on this one. Very easy again to take a look at this on the spread that I did. It's a slide deck. It's easy to view. All you have to do is go to the profile, click on the link, and then there's a button that you can push. You have to put in your name, address, and email, but it'll give you access to that very nice deck on the Deere trade, the bull put spread on Deere. But as you can see, it's done very nicely. This is Deere. This is one of the reason I'm bringing this one up is because I looked through all of the charts on all of the ones that typically do good in September, and I said, where are the best setups? Okay, now it just so happens Deere has a very good setup right now. It's a cup with handle, and there is a 388.52 buy point on this one. It's pulled back a little bit, but we expect that it's going to get a bounce off of this 21-day line. That is the green line here that you can see. Now, if you're looking on TikTok, of course, you can't see this because I don't have the capability of running the charts. But if you jump on over to this address, www.youtube.com/Dallas34, you can see all the charts that I'm showing everyone here. So, without further ado, the Deere and Company looking very, very good as well. Also, I also want to show you Elmer. It's unfortunately a little bit extended. I started buying it right as it broke out back here at about 149. It's up to 188. So probably not the best entry point on this. I want to see it push past about 188.40. It's at 188.19. So it's very close. This is a little bit extended. So it's be a tough buy right now. But this one also does, for some reason, very good in the month of um, in the month of September. Kind of strange, but that's sort of how it works. Now, before we get into the questions, I just want to kind of show you something that I think you might be fascinated with. At least I was. Kathy Woods, who has a great record of picking winners, just came out with a new fund. And I kind of want to show you the top holdings. Now, there's going to be 100 stocks in this new fund. I don't have a ticker symbol for you yet on this new fund, but I think it's going to be very good. It's called the ARC Transparency ETF, and it's going to hold roughly about 100 stocks. But I want to show you what, because of the filings, what are going to be the top holdings in this, and just kind of go down the list. It's a very interesting list, I think. Apple, of course, is one of the biggest holdings, and of course, Apple has been doing very well. It's moved past that critical 150 level. It's up at 152.78, so it's looking pretty good. It's up 95 cents today. Microsoft, kind of the usual suspects here. Microsoft, in 2017, Microsoft was my number one stock. I hadn't owned this thing since 1999, if you could believe that. Remember that Prince song, 1999? Party like it's 1999. I didn't own this for 18 years. But boy, when it started moving, I was in it, and this is part of Kathy Wood's new fund. Of course, it's Microsoft. It's up 76 cents. This is just slow and steady wins the race. I mean, Satya Nadella has done a great job at Microsoft, and it just they seem to be hitting on all cylinders. Their Azure platform is doing well, so it's really a profit machine, but it's in there as well. Salesforce, of course, this is the original software as a service company. The symbol, of course, is CRM on that one. It's up today significantly, 4.26%. Wow, that's a great, and volume's up. So this is really the one today that's breaking breaking, very nice. Nike, of course, I was in Nike until I reached my 20% profit goal. I took profits on this one. I don't know if I'm going to be back in it, but very good. Kathy is definitely going to be in it. Chipotle. Chipotle is, I wish they would split the stock. It's a great company, CMG, but the problem with it, of course, is that it's $1,900 a share for a burrito company. So that's kind of expensive. The way to play this might be with spreads or to buy this fund, this ARC Transparency ETF. And last but not least, of course, this is one of Kathy Woods' favorites. It's Tesla. Currently today, it's trading at 734.90, and that's a pretty good price because seven over 730. I'm starting to get reinterested in Tesla. This is my best stock of last year, but I'm getting more interested in this stock as it moves above that 730. So that's a buy point, kind of not really a buy point, but a critical juncture with that stock. So I kind of want to give you a look see of what I'm currently holding, and this is my portfolio. Now, of course, I started out with just a small portfolio, but I'm running about 5 or 6 portfolios right now, so I'm kind of all over the place. But these are the stocks that I currently hold, and probably to hold too many, I want to pare them down. But I kind of want to show them to you so that you can you can get a look at at the share. So let me pull that up. There we go. And these are the stocks that I'm currently holding. Um, Apple, of course, just like Kathy Woods there. When this was taken, it was 153. It's pulled back just a slightly. It's up about $1.29 today. Berkshire Hathaway. This is. I don't think Kathy Woods would ever hold this stock. This is sort of my slow and sure, but it isn't really doing anything stock. But I think that it's likely if we have a lot of inflation, Berkshire probably will do very, very well. I am a holder. Macy's has been a real winner for me. I started buying it at about 16, and it's just moved right up. It's just I don't get it, but it just is keeping on going up. It's based totally on the charts. Matson Lines, of course, we talked about that one. That is the largest container company that's based in America, and so there's certain advantages that you have with that. So the freight rates have gone up a tremendous amount, and they just seem to be able to they just seem to have all kinds of pricing power on that one. So MATX is looking pretty good today. It's up about $1.39. Again, as everybody knows, I am a big fan of NVIDIA, and NVIDIA is probably my number one hold right now. It's at 225. I'm really looking. It's hard to say what the target is going to be on that, but I'm looking at probably by the end of the year at least 250 on this one. Who knows? ST Micro. This is another one, another chip company. This one just keeps on. It's a little engine that could. It doesn't go up a lot each day, but it seems to always go up. This is a Swiss Italian company, interestingly enough. They make chips primarily for the automotive market, and they're doing very well because there's a shortage. Microchip Technologies, this one's going to be splitting 2 for 1. It's down a little bit today, a little bit concerned there. I'm also accumulating a position in Palantir. It's down 7 cents today, but on the fundamentals of this company, I really like it. This could be a $1 trillion company. I'm not saying it's going to be, but they have some seriously interesting technology that I think you might want to. And it's pulled back, and it's now with a cup with handle. So who knows if this is the right entry point? I've been entering it basically at this price from about 24 on up to about 26. I'm trying to build a little position on it. We'll see how it does. It did come through earnings, so we're through that earnings risk, which is very, very important. By the way, if you are looking to buy a stock, be very cognizant of when they're going to have their earnings. Typically, what I like to do is I don't like to hold stocks into earnings unless I have a 10% profit cushion. The reason is they can fall out of the sky. It's just amazing. That's what happened to Zoom yesterday. Zoom gapped down, and they had good earnings, and their earnings were up. So, just a warning on this: if you're looking to buy a stock, check to see when the earnings are going to be. Don't buy it if you're about a week into earnings. Just be very careful and consider selling the stock before the earnings, and then waiting for the earnings, seeing how it trades, and then buying back in because you can be really, really shooken up especially the people that were in Zoom. Tremendous company, but they just a little bit of guidance. They had tremendous earnings, but their guidance was they're not going to grow as fast. They've been just growing incredibly fast, and that was enough to tank the stock. So you want to always look to carefully to see when the earnings are going to be on a stock. Try not to hold them into earnings unless you're up at least 10%. So that's a word to the wise. So I'm constantly selling my stocks prior to holding them through earnings. Now, of course, everybody will say, no, you can't make the big gains. You're right, but wait until you get that profit cushion. That's the key. Also, Robert Half, it's down a little bit today, but this has been a really good one as well. Goldman Sachs, it's been up and down the last few days, but it's holding nicely above the 400 level, which is the key level on it. Trex, this is the plastic lumber company that I really like. It's up today, $1.68. This is a little bit more thin stock, so you can't totally go on everything here. Adcore, I'm kind of a little bit disappointed in this one. This is an industrial play. We'll see how it does. This is sort of on the bubble right now. I may be loosening. I may be, kind of adjusting on this one. Don't know how it's going to go. PerkinElmer, of course, and that's up $3.46 today. PerkinElmer is, I think, a really great company, unfortunately it's extended here right now. So I would not be buying a position in PKI right now. Unfortunately, that was unfortunately about 30 points ago at about 149. So I wouldn't buy this one right now just because it's extended, but I like the stock. Square, it's up today again, 269.20. So this one I do like. I like Square a lot better than I like, than some of the other stocks. I mean, the payment stocks that I like, of course, are PayPal and Square. So I like both of those. So without further ado, let's get into some of the questions. Thanks for holding on here, and let's get some questions. Thank you for holding. And again, if you want, I typically take the questions from um, from from YouTube first, but if you're watching on LinkedIn, you can also type in questions as well. And thanks very much for to Kyle. Happy Wednesday, Jim. Thoughts on Netflix? Very good. Thank you for that. That's Netflix has been kind of interesting. I mean, so let's pull up the Netflix NFLX. And of course, this is one of the original. This is one of the original. What is it? What is an acronym? I can't remember. I can't remember. It's so quickly. It goes so quickly. Oh, geez. Anyways, tremendous move on Netflix today. Of course, it's cleared the reversal line. It is up 67% today. Wow, this is incredible in terms of the volume. Look at this. So I'm not sure exactly the reason for this, but I want to jump over to the weekly chart to see kind of if there's something. Yeah, okay. We're right below a buy point on the weekly chart. This is interesting. The buy point on the consolidation base, stage two, the pivot on it is 593.29. And see, Jim, what are you talking about? What is this pivot thing? Well, this pivot thing is typically a stock won't run up or down in a straight way. There's resistance, and typically at these pivots, and these can be calculated. So currently we have a 593 pivot on that. So meaning so there's some resistance on it. And as you can see, let's see if we can zoom in a little bit on this chart. But I want to show you how this is moving up and potentially is moving. It potentially will move through this level. So I'm going to kind of zoom in here a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Kind of get in there with there, and I think you can. I think you can see it. Maybe I can zoom in one more time. There we go. So we're at 250 magnification, which is it's easier to see it. There we go. Now you can see this is the consolidation here, and it's gone down and then it's moved back up. Now, hopefully, there we go. And so as it moves above this buy point, that's a potential place that it can be. So interestingly enough, Netflix is at an almost all-time high. Its all-time high is 593. Now the question is, can we buy Netflix? Well, it's got a very good checklist, 78% for 68%, 6 out of 9 is my benchmark. This is doing better than the benchmark. It is it's very close to its, of course, it says all-time high, so that's excellent. The current price, of course, is above $10, so it's obviously it's an investment grade stock. The uh, the relative strength is above 80, and that's very, very important. I always like this. This is the one area where I kind of want to see some more power. The relative strength is only 53 here. Now, why is this so low? Well, it's because if we look back, and I'm gonna zoom out here a little bit. If we look back, we can see that. Oops, I went the wrong way. So I want to do this. I'm gonna zoom back out here. There we go. Okay, now it's looking like now we can see it all. Okay, as you can see, and let's go to the monthly chart just kind of see this. We've been, at least for the time being, we've kind of been flat. So this is the reason for that low relative strength. As you can see, 2021 has been, it's been in an uptrend, but not very much. Initially it moved down. So that's the part of the reason that we're having this low RS rating of 53. So here's my take on that, and I've yammered on here. I do believe that you could start building a position in Netflix right now. I do think so because we're right below the buy point. Now, here's the thing: when you do build a position in like this, you got to be careful because you can so you want to put in your stop loss very tight. But I definitely think this is a good time to possibly look at starting a position in Netflix. So thank you very much, Kyle, for that question. Let's go to TikTok here and see. Oh, I can see your bald spot. Well, it happens. It happens to us all. I'm afraid I'm going bald. I need to get like a rug, like a movie star, but I don't have movie star looks. I have more I mean, I have a face for radio, so I'm not really the most handsome guy in the world, but I'm trying. I comb my hair each day and I do cut my hair, so I'm trying not to look totally homeless, but thank you very much. Do you still work at Costco? No, I don't think I've ever worked at Costco. Question is about Amazon. Will it ever go up again? Because it's kind of, it's been pulling back. Let's look at Amazon AMZN, and it did. I had a spread on it. I closed it, but I think it's starting to move back up again. Yeah, there we go. So we went down. We tested that 200-day line. Boom, we're up. We're above the 40-day line, so that's looking good. So yeah, it does look like it's sort of reversed higher. It's up 6% today. There is increasing volume. I'm liking that. So it's not looking bad. The relative strength is a little bit weak at 49. I think it's a great stock, but I think that you could probably find a little bit better merchandise out there right now than Amazon. It's not that it's a bad stock. It's just I don't know if this is the greatest entry place for this. We bounced off that 200-day line. That's probably would have been, it probably would have been the place to buy it as it moved above that 21-day line. So I'm a little bit, and it did clear the 40-day line. So it's definitely looks like it's going to move a little bit higher. At least I'm seeing. But September is a really tough month, and we just don't know what's going to happen on that. So you got to be careful. Thanks, Hans, very much. Let's look at Coin and Roku, but I want to look at Coin first because Coinbase, is sort of becoming a very key company in the whole crypto space. So it's but the problem with Coin right now that I can see, and by the way, I have owned Coin when it came out. I bought in basically right about here, and I can kind of show you right about I've taken away my notes, but I spotted right about here. This is on the first day, basically, right here, and I sold right about at 420. I think I was in the stock a grand total of about 25 minutes. So that's on the first day. But since then, it has not held. So relative strength of 16. It really needs to get above 306. Here's the thing with Coinbase. If you're down on this, hey, you might consider hanging on. I mean, their earnings are good. But I just don't want to have my dead money. I just don't want to have dead money. So I would definitely take a look at possibly closing my position if I was down more than 7%, waiting for a better time to get back in. So I can't recommend Coinbase right now. I just think that, with Coinbase, you just it's basically a watch list stock right now. I mean, with Coinbase, I just think you gotta watch list it. That's the only way you can go on it right now because it's really not ready to buy. I really need to see it move really above about that 300 level before but before I think that it really is going to be it's really going to be buyable again. So with that said, let's look at Roku. RUOKU and Roku. It's a different story, I think, with Roku. Roku is your this is potentially a good place to buy Roku. Why? Because it looks like it has just cleared the it's just cleared the 200-day moving average. This is a key thing. It's the interesting thing, the way stocks trade, and it's very interesting, is that they'll come up to a high, and in Roku's case, let's see if we can zoom in just a tad, maybe one or two notches in. We can see this on the screen, but basically the way stocks trade is they will trade to a high, and then they will form. Let's go back. Let's go down one. Let's see. There we go. One more two. About 150 minutes. Yeah, we can see it. Okay, so basically, what happened was Roku ran up to a high of 486.72, and that basically happened back in February. Since then, it made its high, and now it's starting the long. This is called the basing period. It created this cup base. It went all the way down. It touched the 200-day line, then tried to make some headway, and then finally went all the way back up to 462, created this pivot point, then pulled back. This is a cup with handle, and then as it moved up, it went beyond the cup with handle, and then once again, when it got just about to 490, see this 486, it then retreated again. So my guess is that we're gonna take another second try on this. And why can I say this? Well, we have very good volume here. We've got a nice volume spike. We've got relative strength of 80, so we're starting to get that relative strength back, which is so important with Roku. And now I think it's going to move up until it gets up to about, I think, the 490 level and see if it can break once again beyond 490 onto the upside. So this has a lot of room to run. I think that it could possibly run up to 490, which basically at its level now, at about a 370 level, you're looking at about 120 dollar move, which is I think it has the potential to. So I do think we're going to see this bounce off of this 200-day line. It's moved above the reversal line that I've drawn in. This is then you can see it. This is the reversal line that I've brought in. So I know that it's just barely in a confirmed uptrend. Let's kind of look at the checklist to see. Okay, it's my minimum checklist, 67. So here's the thing. I wouldn't go in with a full position here, but I would start to consider possibly buying maybe a quarter position. Now, here's the thing, the leisure movies and related, they're not doing too well. 150 out of 197. So there's several problems with this one, and that is its grouping is not very good right now. I typically like to buy in the top 60% of all the groups. This is not there. This is in the bottom 20%. So I don't like that. Also, it does look like it is reversing, but it just hasn't confirmed its reversal. I kind of want to see it to go higher, a little bit higher. I'm going to get more interested in, we can see a few blue bar days. So here's the thing with Roku. You could start accumulating at this level, but I'd be super careful. So really, I think you got to watch this one. I don't think you can go in with the full. I don't think you can go in with full. Unfortunately, I just don't think it's prudent. I think you want to watch this one a little bit, let it go a little bit higher, and then yeah. and then see if it can go up. But it's a great stock, great company, and yeah. So thank you very much. Hello, Jim. We love your everyday videos and would like to be a part of your Discord group. Can you give us some highlights of what we do? Yeah, absolutely. We have a Discord group, and we have some great traders in there. Some of the traders in there just have done terrifically. We have one gentleman, he's up. I last over a year, he's 67% or something. Very, very good. It is a pay group. I'll be honest with you, but I tell you what, we do offer. But take a look at it. We do have a coupon available, but you got to send me that info. So here's the thing. What I'll do is I'll hook you up with a special coupon for for the group. If you email me directly and just send it to dallastradingfloor@gmail.com. And if you do, I'll set you up with a special promotional a kind of a special promotional coupon for the Discord group, so you can see kind of what it's all about, and that's kind of cool. So just to give you kind of an idea, I'm running it in the background, so I'm gonna show you kind of what it looks like and kind of what we show people on that. But I'm gonna go over here and show you kind of the situation of the show. Okay, now obviously you could see I put, this is shameless advertising for myself. I'm showing up. But what I do is every day we go through all kinds of trade ideas, and then I try to bring up trade ideas, and I'll try to analyze as best I can many of the trades. So it's a real fun it's a real fun experience. We've had people that have just done terrific on it. So but if you go out there and decide that you want to just drop me an email and I'll see what I can do, for a special coupon for it. And that's dallastradingfloor@gmail.com. So thank you very much for that. All right, let's go back to the comments. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, CRM. Yeah, great stock. And this is one of the ones that we talked about on the list of stocks. Of course, this is Salesforce. We talked about CRM. This one, for some reason, is doing very, very well. This is going to be part of Kathy Woods's, of course, new fund. So she's a pretty good stock picker. So I would be kind of interested in what she has to say, and I definitely am. So here is kind of the uh, the chart for CRM. What happened was we went up all the way to the buy point here, and this is the pivot that I was talking about on a first stage consolidation, 270.92. That is the consolidation. What happened is it went up there and it just didn't pierce through that consolidation and it's pulled back, but it's getting ready to move higher. Here's what you can do. This is up 10% in volume today. That's very strong. We also have it up $3 a share. So here's what I would do with this one. Because the pivot is at 270.92, I would consider doing a buy stop limit order. And what that does is that it's an order that doesn't activate until the price goes above. You say, well, geez, why would you do that? Well, because we want to see it move through that pivot point, that 270.92 pivot point, before we really want to buy it. Why? Because as you can see, it's made some attempts. It's gone up there and then it's pulled back and it's gone up there and pulled back. So where would I set the buy stop limit order? Well, what I would do, and I'm going to track the prices, I would set it at the high that it made when it pours through. So I would be interested in buying this, and I'm going to set an alert on this at 274.92. If it moves above that, and I'm going to go ahead and reactivate that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit that. There we go. So with this alert, I'm going to set it at what am I going to set it at 274. So at 274, I want to see if it's going to move above that area. So that's why I have these two alerts in here. I want to see it when it goes through the pivot, and then when it goes to 274, because 274 is the high. So I want to buy it at the high if I possibly can. Now, the question is, will I buy it? Well, it's got a pretty good checklist, 78. So that's looking good. Its relative strength, of course, is lower, but it is making this, it made this basing move. So it's still looking pretty darn good. So here's what I would recommend doing. If it moves above about 274 CRM, I would then consider possibly buying it because, you want to buy in strength. You always want to buy in strength. That's so, so important. Let's also look at Qualcomm. That's QCLM. This is symbol there. QCOM. And let's take a look at Qualcomm. And of course, I'm old enough to actually remember when Qualcomm made most of the chips that are in most of the cell phones when they started out. So it's a pretty cool company. I think it's based in San Diego. So they're very much of a chip company. This fabulous area has just been on fire. Of course, Nvidia is in here, and I want to kind of look at that one as well to see which are the best setups. And I think we need to look at the best setups in this because we're just seeing incredible strength in the chips right now. And I have three. Let's see, I have 3 names, I believe. No, I'm sorry. I have a spread on AMD, I've got, NVIDIA, and I've got STMicro, but I wanna take a look at this group because this group is showing an incredible amount of strength. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move over to the listings for all of the groups. Now there's 197 groups as defined in the stock market, as defined by the Investor Business Daily, which I think, it's not the end all be all, but I think it's a very good indicator of kind of what groups are out there. So I'm going to look here to see. Let's look at. Okay, let's see if I can get. So I'm going to be looking at what the strongest groups were last week, and as you can see right now, this group is number 7. It's the semiconductor fabless. This is where the chips live. I want to take a look at this group in general, and I want to see what are the strongest stocks in this group. Currently, this group taken as a whole has a relative strength of 97. This is incredible because puts it in the top 3% of all the groups. This is part of the reason why the QQQ, which is the ETF that covers the NASDAQ 100, where a lot of these chips live, that's why it's doing so well. But let's look at the top stocks in this area, see if there's anything that's actionable. So I'm looking, there's just a lot of companies in here. Number one, of course, is NVIDIA, Broadcom, and Qualcomm is right in there. So this is looking very, very good. We definitely want to buy the leaders if we can. And Qualcomm is definitely a leader. So NVIDIA, Broadcom, and Qualcomm all looking good, and AMD. So these are all really, really good in here. And I think possibly we could look at them. So let's look at the top stocks currently. Well, interestingly enough, that's a little bit different. These are the stocks that are making new highs. DSP Group, not as familiar with this. Well, I think I know this one. I think this was a spinoff from Intel. Lattice Semi has been doing very, very well. And of course, there's NVIDIA. But I want to look at Lattice. And the reason I do is because I have been hearing some very good things about this one. And fortunately, it's a little bit extended. That's too bad because it had this beautiful cup with handle with a 53.97 buy point, a 79 buy point. So I just thought I might look at that and get lucky, get lucky on that one. That would be the best group. So let's go back to the drawing board with. Well, it's not back to the drawing board. Let's go back um, uh, with. I don't think I'm just looking at the top stocks. By market cap, Qualcomm is very, very good size. So what do I think about Qualcomm? Well, I definitely like the pattern. This is a cup with handle. This is a very, very good pattern, and it looks like we have bounced off of the 200-day moving average. So that's good. So we have upward motion on this. This is actually a pretty good chart. I do have some concerns. It's a 53 relative strength. This, and you can see basically we have basically this level of resistance is right about here, but we potentially have quite a bit of potential run. I mean, we have potentially, we potentially have potentially this amount of kind of room before we get to the next pivot. So this is looking very good. This is not a bad place to buy it here. It's down a little bit today, up after hours. So you know what? I think you could start nibbling at this level. I think you could start. I think you could start with a small position. I would probably recommend. I would probably recommend going with probably only a quarter position. Now, what do I mean by a quarter position? Well, think of your stock portfolio as a pizza. Of course, I always think of everything as a pizza. That's the reason why I need to go on a diet. But with with your stock portfolio as a pizza, it's got 8 slices. You typically don't want to trade any more than about 8 stocks. Actually, you really want to trade less if you have under $100,000 valuation. You want to trade about 6. But for the demonstration, let's think about 8 pizza slices. One full position is 1/8 of the size of your portfolio, or it's going to be about 12.5%. Now, why do we do this? Well, because if we go in with full positions and we set our stop losses at 7% below where we went into it, the maximum loss of capital that we can have on our portfolio is 1 to 2%. So that's why you want to do this. So, long story short, here's what I would think about with Qualcomm. I think you could go in with a quarter or possibly a half position. I would not go in with a full position here because it's not above the 152.28 buy point. But I think this is a good place to start building a position in Qualcomm. I think it's a good stock and it's in a great area. So very, very good. Yeah, very good on that. So thank you. Let's look at. I'm looking at TikTok here. Do you still work at Costco? No, I haven't worked there in a while. Actually, I never worked back there in a while. Let's take a look at some of the other. Let's see other questions. So that's good. All right. So, um, are you gonna? Are you going on? What's your latest on GDLC? GDLC? I don't know GDLC. I think GBTC is what you're talking about. But GDLC, is that right? No, I don't think so. Oh, Grayscale Digital. Interesting. Okay. I I uh I stand corrected. Grayscale sponsors a lot of great funds, and this is one that I'm not that familiar. I haven't traded this one. But it does appear that there is a 46 buy point and it's just moving up. And look at that. 103%. Wow, what is going on there? Something must be going on there. Relative strength is 98. Whoa, this is interesting. I can't give you a good it looks like it's been in existence since basically the beginning of the year, December. So one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8, 9. So it's been around 9 months, but boy, it's just going up. It shot up and then it pulled back. So yeah, it's making higher ground. So I probably would not buy it this extended, but I just kind of want to get an idea of sort of how far extended above the 10-day line it is. I'm going to put it right on there, and I'm going to go right there. Okay, it's about wow, 17% above the 10-day line. That's just too high for me. Here's the thing, I wouldn't buy this one right now. It's just too volatile. I think you want to watch this one, wait for it to pull back and correct a little bit. No stock can go up at this angle. Eventually they correct. So I do think it's going to correct, but you probably want to, if you're going to want to get in it, it's going to correct to about this $55 level. So if it pulls back to about the $55 level and bounces off this pink line here, that's the $10. That's the 10-day moving average. Then I think you could possibly get into it. Very interesting. This is an ETF, of course, it's exchange traded fund. So very interesting, very interesting stock there. Very interesting stock. All right. Next question is on and Apple. URBN and Apple. Okay, let's look URBN. URBN. Urban Outfitters. Okay, well, it is kind of interesting to see this. The retail sector has been doing well, but it's pulled back a little bit. The retail apparel shoes area has pulled back a little bit. It's 26 out of 196. It is losing a little bit of strength. I personally in this area had Shoe Carnival, which I really liked. I did end up selling out of that. But right now, this seems to be below the 200-day line. So I would be a little bit careful about entering here. I would be careful a little bit entering here because you just typically don't want to buy them when they're below this black line here. That's the 200-day moving average. And as you can see, there's been a fair amount of selling here. They had some excellent earnings, 266% up. But you can see this is a classic example of, buy on rumor, sell on news. Okay, the rumor was good. There was a lead up to it. They made 266% increase in terms of their profit, in terms of their sales, looking really, in terms of their profitability, looking excellent. But the minute that happened, there was selling. You see, so here's my point on this one. I think that it might be bouncing here, but I would be careful. I probably would not buy this one until it moved above about at least 30, at least 35, at least 35, possibly 37. I really want to see it go above about 40. Would I buy Arvid Alpers? Probably not in this case. I probably would be, I would probably not buy this one. I probably would just watch this one. That's my take on it, and I probably would watch this one. So, but I really appreciate the question, and yeah, it's good. Let's take a look at Apple. That was the other. That was the other. That was the other stock that you wanted to see, and of course, I have Apple, and I do think it's a class stock. Unfortunately, and this my chart is kind of marked up here a little bit, but this is a class stock. Unfortunately, the true buy point on this one, 137.07, is currently 152. So it's a little bit extended. There is a little bit of resistance right here at 150. It looks like we finally made it past that, which is a good sign because it now looks like it's free to continue moving higher. That's what happens with these pivots. It will come up to a pivot, and then, if it doesn't have enough power, it won't break through. It'll pull back, and then it'll try again and try again, try again. It looks as if Apple tried once, twice, three times, four times, and now fifth time's the charm. So the thing with Apple is it's relatively slow moving, very quality stock though. It's part of many of the biggest portfolios, and of course, it's one of the primary ingredients in the QQQ, which is the ETF that covers the Nasdaq 100. So that's also a very big area. So I am moderately bullish on I'm moderately bullish on Apple. I am moderately bullish. All right, Hans, thank you for asking again. Let's look at Target, and this is the problem with retailers are and I do own Macy's, so the problem with Target is that it was such a darling of everyone, and it was looking good, but it just sort of has it's sort of lagging a little bit here. It's fallen below the 40-day line. Nothing bad about this action, but it is currently in somewhat of a downtrend. I don't know if we want to buy it. It's the major discount change. Essentially, this is the same. I think your better bet, and I want to look at the chart for Macy's. This is one of the ones I hold. I think Macy's is a better stock, and I think it's in a better place. If you want to be in retail, I think Macy's might be the place for you because it looks as if Macy's is going to make another leap up. The reason I know this is because you can see this tight action. It came right up to the pivot, and then it moved up, and then it stayed kind of tight in here. Well, this is going to go either way, and what we're seeing, and this is very important with Macy's, is you can see that the volume is decreasing. Now, why would that be important? Well, the reason that's important, of course, is because as it's in a tight range, fewer and fewer people are willing to sell it. So I do expect, and who knows if it's going to be this week or next week, but I do think we're going to have a breakout to the upside for Macy's. So I think it's a little better than TGT, at least for right now. So that's kind of where I would be. I would be probably looking at Macy's rather than Target, and that's kind of my take on it. That's kind of my take on it. All right. Oh, hey, interesting. Another great for Ethereum. Yeah, this Grayscale Ethereum trust. I haven't been in it, but I think you're right. I mean, I think a lot of people are really interested in it, and it's doing well. Let's kind of take a peek. EHTE. This is for Ethereum. Of course, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is the one that I trade the most. Of course, that's the Bitcoin one. This one is the Ethereum. It's a little bit smaller. It's on the over the counter bulletin board. So the thing about this one, it's a little bit thin. It's not like the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, which is not a bulletin board stock. This is a bulletin board stock. Just wanted to put that out there. This is a lot thinner than the GBTC, but it's very very interesting. And you're right. I mean, it's up. As you can see, the volume is up an incredible 78%, up $2.81. I just don't know exactly what to say on this, but it does look like that. At least up to this 43, we're looking pretty good. So I do think it's probably going to adjust down a little bit, but it's still in this very nice upward trend. So yeah, I think you could definitely be in it. And then of course the first kind of level of resistance is going to be this 43.23. But one of the things I really like is looking at this volume here. We have increasing volume, and I really like that. So that means that the price is going up and the volume is going up at the same time. That's a very good sign. So this one may have a little bit to run. Next stop is probably about 43 on this one. So very, very interesting. Thanks, PP, for that. Appreciate it. And oh, Real Madrid. Thank you for watching. I think Fastly will go higher this run at least 90. So let's look at Fastly. FSLY. FSLY. Of course, the problem right now with Fastly. I don't know if it's a problem. Here I'm saying it's a problem. Is that it's in this downward trend, and I don't like buying them. I don't like buying when they're downward trend. I don't like them buying them below the 200-day line. I want to see a reversal. I haven't really seen that, but we're starting to see some volume come in. That's good, but the relative strength is 5. If you don't have a position in this one, I wouldn't enter a position in there. I'd wait for some strength, and I hope you're right. I hope it does move higher, but right now I just couldn't be. I couldn't be in this one right now. I want to see it move above that 200-day line. But you know what? If you're right, you're going to be very right on this. I just, for myself, I just don't like to buy them in this downward trend. I like the story on this stock. I just am a little bit scared on the technicals. One of the ones that I want to look at that I have been buying a position is Palantir, PLTR. And that one, I believe, has turned the corner. I'm hoping. I'm hoping it's turned the corner. It's off a little bit today. But as you can see, it has this cup with handle formation. I may have been a little bit early in the buying on it, but I do have an indication that this is the highest volume since the last base. So I do think this one may be turning. The relative strength on this is much better than Fastly. It's a 91 relative strength here as opposed to like a 5. So if you're looking in this area, the computer software enterprise group, this is getting a lot of love. 14 out of 197. So you might want to consider taking a look um, at Palantir. Right now, the shares are fairly inexpensive. This one actually could become $1 trillion company. I mean, I don't, who knows if it's going to. I mean, that's a crapshoot any way you speak, any way you talk about it. But this one could potentially become a $1 trillion company. So this might be one you want to kind of look at as possibly getting in on it. Getting on it to see if you can, see if you can start accumulating a position. Thanks, Jose. You're interested in LMND, Lemonade, LMND. This one, again, same issues with a lot of the software as a service type of companies. Is that this has been on this downward trend, so I'm not too high on it right now. I really want to see it move above about 100 because it's in a downward trend. Relative strength is 22, and the checklist, I don't think it's going to be that good on it. Yeah, it's a 44 checklist. I just don't think you can. I don't think you want to buy this one right now. I'm not trying to be negative Nelly here, but I just don't think you can buy this one. So I wouldn't buy lemonade, at least right now. So that's kind of my that's kind of my take on lemonade. Um, okay. We haven't get out of Macy's. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, well maybe I'm wrong about Macy's. I did lighten my position, so look. There's a problem. Oh, I don't. It's actually holding very well. Looks like it's got support at the 10-day. I don't know. I could be totally wrong on this. I'm still holding a position in Macy's, so I don't know, but it looks fairly good. A little bit down. It's down at 1 cent after hours, but it's pretty good action. I like this action right now on Macy's, and this is one of the top areas. The department stores 2 out of 197. So I'm probably going to hold in Macy's, um, yeah, for a little bit of time, anyways. For Samuel is asking for buy points on Amazon. Let's look at Amazon and see if I can come up with a decent buy point for Amazon. All right. Well, it's in a consolidation, and it's got a relative strength of 49. I'm not really liking that, but we have seen in the last few days increasing volume, and I do like that. See that? That's a nice thing to see. It looks as if it has bounced essentially a little bit below the 200-day line, but it's bounced. That's good. It's above the 40-day line. That's good. So it does appear to be moving higher. Now, there is an old buy point here, cup with handle, which is 35.2486. 35.2486. So currently it's 34.78. So here's what I would do. The buy point on this one, $3,524.86. That's kind of where, if it moves above that, that's where you kind of want to be seeing, you kind of want to be possibly moving into it. Amazon did suffer this huge downward gap. This is again. I always reiterate this. This is the reason why you have to be very careful holding a stock into earnings if you don't have if you don't have a 10% cushion. Right before earnings, it was doing great. Then earnings came out, and the earnings weren't bad. I mean, the earnings per shares were up 47%, but it wasn't enough. It pulled way back. So now we've got to get all the way back, really. So I probably would not be. Here's the thing. I'm going to set an alert on. I think it really needs to come all the way back up to where it kind of fell in order to buy. I don't really want to. I kind of want to look to see. Yeah, what I kind of want to do on this on Amazon is I want it to come right up back up to here. I want to come back up to here before I'm interested in buying it. And why? Because, well, oops, because I want to see it continue this upward motion. And currently that's 35.88. So we've got a ways to go. So here's the thing I would do with Amazon. I probably would not be a buyer of Amazon right now, just because I think that with Amazon, it's just not at the right at the best place. So here's what I would do with Amazon. I think it's a watch list for Amazon and not a buy. So I'd be careful with Amazon if I was doing that. So, but there is a buy point. You could buy it if it moves above about 38.88, and it's got a ways to. I mean, sorry, not 38.88. Excuse me. Let me give you the real number. 35.88. Excuse me. 35.88. 35.88 moves above that. Then I start thinking you can start getting interested. But right now, I just think it's a watch list, and you can't do it. Well, I didn't. Did I get? I didn't get to everybody. Oh, I didn't get to everybody. Let's do one last one. How does PayPal look? Starting to build some position. Okay. Yes. Let's, Ricky. Thank you, Ricky, for this. This is a very good question. Can it be? Unfortunately, the last question of the day. This is on PayPal. This is one of my favorite stocks, by the way. Um, I think that I've been in and out of PayPal numerous times. I think it's a quality stock. I think it does. It has the kind of it has the kind of gravitas that I think can make it really good. Now, what happened was it went up to the 310 pivot. It bounced off of that. It went all the way back down to 269, and now it's going to make another attempt moving through the 40-day line. So this is a good sign, but I want to buy it only if it moves above the intermediate higher high, about 290. So if this moves above about 290, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set. Um, let's see if I can. I'm going to delete these. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to edit this. I'm going to put this at about 290, 291 because, by the way, if you have software that allows you to put alerts on it, I love alerts because I can be doing something else and boom, it will say, oh, it's moved above a reversal line or something like that. But with PayPal, I think it's quality stock, and I do believe that if you move it above this level here, that's where you could possibly get into it. I wouldn't be into it right now. Checklist is a little bit weak at 67. It's still really good. There's a lot going on for it, but I do think that it can be. It's definitely improving. It's in the credit card payment sector. I definitely think this is much better than Mastercard or Visa. So this is a stock I think you can get in, but I think you got to wait until it confirms higher because it's pulled back. Let's see if it can hold this 40-day line. So I have I have put the alert at 291. So if it pulls above 291, then I'm getting pretty interested. I wouldn't go in with a full position because we are shy of the 310.16 buy point, but this is where I'd start trying to get in. 291. I think if it convincingly moves above 291, clear sailing up to about 310. Then we hit our next little bump in the road, and hopefully we can get beyond that. But this is a great stock. It's definitely worth having in your portfolio. You want to buy it on an uptrend though. This is the key. You want to make sure that it's on an uptrend, and that way I think you can really, really do great with. I think you could really, really do great with that. So here's the thing: get ready to buy this one. It's still a watch list. I still really like it, but it's a great stock. Well, thank you everybody for taking a look at my little show. I will be back tomorrow, of course, at about 2:30. The same time, 2:30, 2:40, depending on when everything comes together. I do have some nice stuff out there. If you're interested in getting onto the Action Trade Alerts, very, very good deal. And that is just go to if you're not on TikTok and you're just looking on LinkedIn or those, just go to www Dallas Trading Floor. Super duper easy, and sign up for the free Action Trade Alerts. First and last name and an email address would be great. So until tomorrow at 2:30 or 40, depending on when I get it, when I get everything together, I will see you tomorrow. And happy trading, everybody. Be careful in this month. September is a little bit more treacherous month than we would like to see. I don't do one thing. If you're watching on YouTube, please like it and please subscribe. I really appreciate it when you do that. So until tomorrow at 2:30 to 2:40, happy trading.